Hi guys, it's Genia. Welcome to my channel. So today I've got a mum blog for you guys and I'm going to be reviewing the Babyzen Yoyo Plus. So I just got it yesterday and I did an unboxing, so you would have seen that just then. But I wanted to share with you guys, I guess, my first impressions, thoughts and my comparison in why we ended up getting a Babyzen Yoyo. So I guess this is for all you first time parents, or if you're looking for a new compact stroller, just a little bit of, info that may help you make up your decision. If you hear any baby crying in the background, that's just Izzy. It's her nap time, so hopefully she goes and takes a nap soon. But yeah, let's continue. So now that Isabel is 8 months, I wanted to invest in something smaller and more compact because I currently have the Bugaboo Chameleon. I believe it's one of the first versions because it was given to me by my cousin because she was done with her kids. So I'm not going to do a review on that because, well, I can, but let me know if you want a review on that actually. I wasn't planning to because I didn't purchase it myself, therefore I didn't really make a conscious decision in that item. There has been a few hits and misses though, I've got to say, with a Bugaboo. The first one is the size of it, because it is an actual stroll, like an actual pram, that it does take up a lot of my boot, and I have a Volkswagen Golf as well. I have gotten around to it, but it just means like little things that you used to take for granted, like just a quick duck to the shops, running a few errands, is a little harder than yeah, so basically what I wanted was, I guess, something smaller now that she's older, just something that I could just keep in the car in case, we do those little errands. That's easy to just, fold out, and it's more compact that it does fit in the car nicely. On days that we do plan to go out for an occasion or a specific reason, then yes, I will still take the Bugaboo because I believe that the suspension and stuff on that is more comfortable for her. But in cases of like emergencies or just quick errands and things like that, then that's why I decided to invest in a compact stroller. So when looking for a compact stroller, there was some that I had in mind. The first one was the Babyzen Yoyo because I saw it a couple of years ago at a baby expo. I wasn't exactly looking because we went to the expo for a friend that was pregnant, but I was quite impressed at how light, how easy it was to use. Mind you, I didn't know anything about strollers or prams back then, but I had that in mind that, when we had kids, and that's something that I would invest in or maybe purchase myself. Knowing the price of a Babyzen, that was the one thing that was, I guess, I was like, whoa, that's quite expensive, because it does retail cost 700 and about 749, 750 Australian dollars. But over time, obviously, once my friends started having kids, other brands popped up that I had in mind as well, like a mountain buggy. So for me, the mountain buggy and the Babyzen Yoyo, the mountain buggy nano, I believe it's version 2 now, those are the two that I had in mind. I did, when I was looking for it, just to make sure that I'm making the right decision, compare and watch a lot of videos based on other compact strollers, such as the Cybex EasyS as well as the City Jogger Mini. So looking at the comparison between the mountain buggy nano version 2 and the Babyzen Yoyo Plus, they were the two main ones. So when it came to compact strollers, the main things I was looking for was practicality, that is small and convenient to pack away, not necessarily in an aeroplane cabinet, but just small in general, as well as pricing and quality and just the overall aesthetics of it as well. Like I said, I did look at the Baby Jogger City, which I really liked because it was a 3-wheel stroller, just means that it was easy to move around. But let's be honest, I'm not really an athletic person. I don't really go jogging or really long intense walks, so I didn't think that that was something that was high on my list. And also looking at reviews, I did like the fact that the seat goes down further than the others, but when you fold it up, it did still look quite bulky. So because of that, I thought that kind of didn't make it on my list. I also looked at the Cybex EasyS, which I really loved because you can move the seat facing you or facing away, front ways. The only reason why that was off the list, I also liked it because there was a lot of space in the basket underneath the seat as well. But when I compared it in store and moved it around in store, I found it a little bit more harder to move around. It wasn't as smooth as the Nano and Yoyo. I'm not 100% sure on the price, but I did like the aesthetics of it as well. I thought that was really quite nice. The seat did kind of go back a little bit further than the Nano and the Yoyo, which was good as well. But in terms of using it, I just felt like it was a bit clucky, and it wasn't as easy to move around as the other two. So moving to my comparison between the Mountain Buggy Nano and the Babyzen Yoyo. So those were ideally the two that I looked at. My friend has the Nano, and she really liked it. And my other friend has a Yoyo, and I really like the Yoyo as well. That for me has always been the first. The only thing that I couldn't justify was the price. So the price difference was significant. I've got a notepad here as well, which I kind of came prepared because usually my videos drag on. But the Babyzen Yoyo costs, like I said, $749, whereas the Mountain Buggy costs $399 Australian dollars. That's the retail price. So for me, I guess when I looked at it, they were both quite similar. I've wanted, in terms of color, black was the one I was going for. But when I compared them side by side, it took me days for me to actually, you know, decide. And I think I kind of settled on the Nano because I couldn't justify spending that much on the price at that time. But when I compared them to, I found that there wasn't one that was better than the other in terms of comparison. I did write a list of comparisons here. So in terms of comparing against other strollers, I like them both because they were both quite slim, very small as well when you pack it up, although the Yoyo was slightly slimmer. The aesthetics of it was quite nice. It was very simple, nothing too fidgety, just really easy to pop on and off as well, to close and open. The sizing of the folds was, for me, I guess it's not really a big deal because I don't travel that much to worry about sizing of plane cabinets, but I do ideally want one small enough that I can fit comfortably, or just hold when we go out and about as well. Practicality, I like them both. They're quite practical. Moving them around, when I compared them in store, they were both very smooth, very easy to move around. Yeah, they were really good. Like, most of these are quite similar, so didn't really have anything that was better than the other. Now, in terms of differences, so with the Baby Nano has like a mesh bit that sits behind the headrest. So as you put your, the seat down, they've got a little breathable mesh bit where you can kind of just kind of like open up the block part of it, so it's like a mesh. I really like that because I feel like I just didn't really feel comfortable with, if you were to put that up, to have their heads kind of exposed, whereas the Nano only had a block bit where it didn't, if you do want to kind of lift it up to give more air in, then you need to expose the head and it's like an open space. Although the Yoyo has a zip compartment, so I'll go through and show you that later. But the handles were significantly different as well. So the Yoyo has more of a round, higher handle, whereas the Nano was more of a kind of like a straighter rectangle angle. What's it? Handle. So I am quite short. I'm 154 centimeters. I preferred the Mountain Buggy, the Nano, because I felt like it was a lot smaller, just easy for me to rest it because I don't like it too high. So I preferred the Nano for that one. The brakes were both quite similar. It was like a feet kind of flick on and off kind of brake. What I did like about the Nano was that the Nano was slightly longer, so you can use your feet to go one way and back ways, whereas the Yoyo has like a little tab that you got to tab with your feet to lock it, and then tab it from underneath to kind of release it, if that makes sense. So I thought if I was in a hurry, whether, I'll have difficulties with that. So I kind of preferred the Nano over the Yoyo for that one. The basket was another thing as well. For me, having the Bugaboo Chameleon, I could not use the undercarriage basket. The way it's been designed, once you have the seat, especially when you have the bassinet, it's just really hard to put anything in. And if you have the seat in, it's a lot better, but it was still a bit of a struggle kind of using the bassinet. So I did want a stroller that I could use the bassinet. I don't know whether there's been a difference in models, because I was told, and through comparison, that the Nano had more of a compartment to store stuff, but when I compared them in store, the Yoyo looked like it was slightly bigger and easier to use. So that was a big factor in me purchasing the Yoyo, was because I wanted to actually use the undercarriage that I couldn't really do with the Bugaboo. What I liked about the Nano as well is that the seat comes with like an extra flat bit. So if your child is lying down, you can extend the seat to give them a little bit more room to make it more comfortable for them to lie in, whereas the Yoyo didn't. However, now though, I think it's recently new, they do have accessories you can add on. So there is an attachment that you can buy separately to give that extra leg room, like the seat room as well, if you want that option. So that being said, when I compared it before buying it, there wasn't really one, in my opinion, that was better than the other. They were just quite, they both had their pros and both had their cons. Even when we were in store deciding it, I was still kind of umming and ahhing which one to get. At the end of the day, I couldn't really justify paying a lot more for the Yoyo, pretty much almost doubled than the Nano. So I think I was actually ready to get the Nano. However, the reason why we got the Yoyo is because I brought my husband with me as well, and he looked at the two, compared the two, and decided to get the Yoyo. So that is why we got the Yoyo. In all fairness as well, the Yoyo quality seemed a lot better. The frame of it was not as flimsy. Like, it wasn't flimsy, but just the quality seemed a lot more sturdier, a lot more as well. And the reason why we decided, like, for me, I couldn't justify paying the difference. That was my main, I don't know, my Asian brain in me, my bargain brain was like, I can't spend that much. But at the end of the day, with both of them, I mean, for a compact stroller, it's something that, you know, later on as my daughter grows up, you know, up until she's 18 kilos, hopefully by the time she's like 3 or 4 years old, we can extend the life of the use of it. So for me to buy a baby product, because baby products are quite expensive, and sometimes, you know, it's only for a short amount of time only, but knowing that hopefully I can use this until she is like 3 or 4 years old. And also what made me decide to buy it as well is because we haven't actually bought anything major for her apart from the baby cot that she sleeps in, the crib. A lot of the stuff has been given to me kindly by my cousins, or yeah, I didn't really have to really buy anything. So we didn't buy the Bugaboo, which is why we thought, you know, let's get something that we can kind of buy this for her, and knowing the fact that she can kind of spend more time in it as she grows as well. So that was kind of my reasoning in buying the Yoyo. So just take that in consideration, is my advice if you are, you know, stuck like me in kind of deciding which one to get. At the end of the day, take it as an advice and not like a preach on, like, you know, I think this is the best, because I think all babies are different as well. It's best to know, you know, what suits your child and also your lifestyle as well. So moving on, I'm just going to give a quick review in, I guess, first, well, it's not really first, it's more second impressions in what I think of the Yoyo. So when I opened the box, it was pretty much already, the frame of it was already assembled, so I didn't really have to do any of that. I just had to put like a couple of the, like, fix up the seat and like put in the padding and things like that. The instructions, they were mostly picture instructions, which was quite easy, especially if you love doing flat packs. The only difficulty was that you had to kind of look at it carefully. It would have been nicer if it had some wording on it, because I did kind of, yeah, you kind of have to look at the pictures carefully to make sure you're doing it right. But apart from that, it is quite easy to assemble. So this is pretty much what it looks like. What I did like about the Yoyo as well is that it's one of the first that came up with the slimmest design in the whole compact stroller. So compared to a lot of the other ones, this is still kind of the most, I think, if anything, the slimmest. I think there may be one called like a GB or something that's slimmer, but it's completely different kind of style as well. So I really like it because it's quite small, quite easy. It looks bulky because of the padding. It did come with like a bag, which I probably won't use because I think that's just quite inconvenient taking it in and out of a bag. It also did come with a waterproof cover on as well. I think the Nano didn't. That was an accessory, so I'm quite happy that it came with the waterproof one as well. So this is what it looks like. I did opt to an all black one, but the wheels are still kind of white. So the difference was that the framing of it was white, but this is an all black. So like I said, it's $749. However, I do recommend I purchase this on sale. I think the most I've seen is maybe 21% sales. I noticed as well that if you do go to baby expos, they may offer more of a sale, but you're on average looking at about 20% off. That is the best price for a yo-yo. What I do like about the yo-yo is that it's quite compact. There's also a handle as well on it that's quite easy. It's not the lightest, but compared to other prams, it's quite easy. It's probably about 8 or so kilos. I'll leave a description or a link below so you can check out the dimensions of it. But that is pretty much it. And to open it is quite easy as well. You can do it with one hand, supposedly, but I'm still kind of learning. I don't know, like when I tested it in store, I didn't know whether the Nano, for me at the time, felt more comfortable opening, closing. But I think the more I get used to this, the more easy it will be. So there is a little tag here that you need to untag. Another thing to keep in mind as well is the wheels. Now this is what I was struggling with yesterday, is that the wheels have to be kind of aligned properly. Otherwise it just doesn't work properly. So you need to make sure the wheels are quite aligned for you to be able to flip it with one hand. And there you go. So like I said, I'm about 154 centimeters. This handle is a little bit high for me. I would have preferred it if it was about here. It would be great if there was a way that Babyzen can kind of adjust the handle, because I feel like it's kind of slightly high. Apart from that, like, it's quite slim and really easy to move around. The back of it, so the back pocket here, so this is the this seat does go down. It doesn't go all the way down, which I would have liked it to go all the way down, but it does. It's just like there's no like mechanical mechanism or anything. It's just like a belt kind of thing that you can loosen up and drop the seat down. So it doesn't go down that far. I would have liked it to kind of gone a little bit further, but I don't know why they didn't do it. But like I said, so the Nano had like an extra flap here that you can kind of raise to make the seat of it a little bit more, so it's more comfortable for them to sleep in. This one doesn't, but I have seen on the website that they do have accessories for additional extension. I'm not sure on the price, which I kind of thought, you know, being the price of this is really expensive, it would be nice if it came with it. But I think it is a new, I don't know, maybe based on feedback or something. So that's something I'll probably look into. She's quite small. Like I said, Isabel's 8 months, so her legs like literally don't even reach right now. And this is the back bit I was talking about. So with the Nano, you can kind of release half of it, so it's like a mesh. With the Yo-Yo, there's a Velcro here that you can unvelcro and kind of just like roll this or keep this up like that. Like I said, I don't know how I feel about having it really open, because I feel like as I'm walking, if I accidentally kick her or if something drops, knowing me, I'll probably get like a cup holder or a bag to put stuff in it. I don't feel comfortable with that. It does, however, have a little zip compartment here that you can store stuff. It is quite deep though, so I don't know exactly what it's supposed to hold. I mean, it would be nice if there was like enough room for like a cup holder or something. But yeah, well, I guess, you know, to keep your wallets and stuff, it's quite nice. I don't know. I don't even know if I would actually use it, to be honest. But yeah, so that's the seat. And then to adjust it, you just have to like push this up and just play with the little lever thing, and just tighten it to whatever height you want to set it. There is also like a mesh little pocket here as well. You can put stuff, which is quite nice. Now, for some reason, when I compared this and the Nano, I went with this one because it had a bigger compartment on the bottom to store things. I just felt like with the Bugaboo, I never really was able to use it, so I kind of hoped I'll had a bigger space that I could use it. But now that I look at it though, like even though it looks quite roomy, the opening of it, there's quite a lot of room on the bottom to put stuff in. It's actually not really that big, because if you notice, there's like a set of bars here. I don't know whether because, you know, the whole folding system, that's why it's there, but it kind of blocks off a lot. So even though it's quite roomy on the bottom to put stuff in, it's actually kind of in the way. So if you've got like a big backpack or something, like diaper bag, it may not necessarily be able to fit because these bars are in the way. I mean, if you have little items they can just throw in, then it should be fine, but like it would be better if they will kind of be further out. But I'm assuming there's a reason why there's two bars there. So as I mentioned, with the quality between the Nano and the Yoyo, I found it that we found it that the quality of the Yoyo was slightly better. We kind of hope so if you're paying like 700 and something anyways. But the quality, so looking at the hardware, it just, I don't know, the Nano seemed a little bit more thinner, if you know what I mean, like just the quality of it, which this one seemed a little bit more sturdier. They both come with the canopy. So this, I wasn't actually happy with the Babyzen Yoyo canopy. I just felt like it was quite small, that by the time you sit with it, it literally just covers your face. But I guess it's doing a purpose. The Nano was slightly bigger, but the Nano didn't have like a little peekaboo kind of clear thing on it. It was just all black. Whereas the Yoyo one does. So, you know, if you have this on, you can still see your child through the little clear plastic bit. You can also as well, so what I was doing yesterday was I was putting Isabel in and also just playing with it, because, you know, seeing how it goes, and she seems to enjoy being in it. It seems quite comfortable for her. For me, being so high was not that comfortable. Like, I feel like over time I risk kind of like, I don't know. But what you can do though, so to close this, there's like buttons on the side that you need to kind of pop in and bend this down, and it goes comfortably like this. So in a way, it kind of looks like a wheelchair. So if I was to take her out, even just have her around the house, like, you know, this just looks more nicer and neater, doesn't take up a lot of room, so we can keep her in as well. If we go out to eat, where she doesn't have a high chair, we can probably, although it does seem a bit lower, especially with the, because normally when I go out with eat with a Bugaboo, I just have her sitting in it, which is fine, but just takes up a lot of, it's very bulky, takes up a lot of room. This one should be able to fit perfectly in a normal seat size, but it just seems to be a little bit low. So, but in terms of just like, you know, sitting her, at least, you know, it's small enough that it doesn't take up a lot of room. And to close it, pretty much you just do that, you just put that in first, and there's like a little lever here that you press and push the button and kind of pull, and then it should theoretically fold. But again, you need to make sure the wheels are aligned, which is kind of annoying, and fold into place. And then it's closed. So I think it'll take me maybe a few more goes to really get the use of the opening and closing. I think especially the wheels, like they need to be a certain way for it to go fluently. But if it's like everywhere, then you might struggle with it. But yeah, so that was my, I guess, review of the Babyzen Yoyo Plus. Let me know what you think, if you like it, if you've got this, what your recommendations are, how you like it, and how it works for you. If you do like this video or found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to watch more. Thanks for watching. Bye!